What's up, DIY fam, and welcome back to Rent This Flip That. We are back out on our gazebo build. The last time you guys were with us, you got to see us set all the poles, pour the concrete. I showed you how to square up your band. We set all the joists, and we were actually able to get all the decking done that day. I showed you a quick tip on how to make sure that you get those sides very straight. Hey, and before we get started, if you guys like videos like this and you want to keep up with the progress, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring notification bell. And it would definitely help out the channel if you drop us a like. Today we're going to be using a Sigma laser level to make sure we get these posts super level all the way around. It's really cool and you're not going to want to miss that, so hang tight all the way to the end. Hey, what's up you guys? Check this out. So I wanted to show you something. A couple years back, Sigma Laser Level sent me this laser right here, and I have to tell you, this thing has come in handy on more jobs than I can even count on. I tell you, we use this for flooring, and I used it to set down on the floor to find a straight line when I'm going into multiple rooms, so that way I can pop a straight line all the way through the house. This beast right here is amazing. You can use this if you're trying to find level of your floor, if you have to pour a floor level or anything like that, but as far as the straight line goes, you can just take this thing out and set it like this right here, make you a little line, like bump off the wall over there and make you a crow's foot, and then come over here and bump off the wall and make a crow's foot. And then when you take this thing and set it down like that, it has a reader that it picks it up right here, and when you slide it back and forth like this right here, it's beep 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 beep. And so when you get it exactly where you need it to be, you can come up to that red line right there and make your crow's foot. That way you know all the way through the house that that thing is straight. Also, I wanted to make mention real quick, on the back of this there's two magnets, and those we use them to stick to metal doors, metal door framing, refrigerator, whatever. So if you are in a situation where you don't have a tripod or you don't have a screw, because it can be hung like that, you can always just stick it to something metal, man, and that's great to have that option. We're using it for a different project, and that is these posts right here. I used to frame houses, and I will tell you this, when we built stuff like on concrete or anything like that, and you need to make sure the walls were level all the way through, the only way we were able to do something like that is with a line level. Now, how accurate is that? I mean, you can get it pretty daggone close, but a laser beam, you can't even get closer than that. So I'm going to show you how we're going to use this thing today. It's really awesome. I think you're going to like it. All right, guys, let's go take a look up on top of this ladder and see what I got going. All right, so right here is where I want to cut my notch at for my post, okay? And then I'm just going to go 11 1/4 up from there because we're using 2x12s. But I'm going to go ahead and set this laser on here. As you can see, it just twists on from the bottom right there, so that allows it to spin around if you need it to spin around like that. Now we're going to turn the laser level on. Now you can see where my mark is over here, and the cool thing about this, see this little dial right here? You can fine tune it up and down like that. So I'm going to come over here to this line right here, and boom, we are like right in the dead center of that line, as you guys can see right there. That is going to be where my notch is, and like I said, we're going 11 1/4 above that. So how do I transfer that over to all these posts and make sure it is exactly the same? Using that other tool. So let's go grab that and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's go. All right, you guys, there is the laser over there. There's a pole, and we're on this one right here. Now the laser is there, you can see it, it's a little bit faint right now. I can see it with my naked eye, but if I put this white piece of paper, then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. There is the laser right there. So that makes my line across there. So how does this thing come in handy? All right, I forgot to mention this. There is two modes on here. One for just using it as a laser level to make your marks on the wall, but if you're using it in the mode we are, you're gonna have to push this button right here and hold it, and then you'll see it start blinking. That makes us good to go. And we are still on our line right there, so let's go over here and check it out. All right, you guys, we're over on the other side, and as you can see, I still have where I can see this line right here. It's a little shaky, but you can see it. And the reason this is so awesome is because sometimes you just cannot see that line. You're out in the daytime, whatever, and that's where this is going to come in handy. So let's just check this out. Watch. So I'm going to slide this up.
Can you see
I can see.
I can't see it.
I actually can see the laser line, so I'm going to make a crow's foot right where it is.
Oh, I see it.
Right there, just a small one. I don't even know if you can see my little crow's foot. Yeah, right there, that little small one right there, and that's where the laser is. So just to show you, I'm going to take this thing and slide it up, and you guys watch. When that line meets my crow's foot, check it out. Now it starts beeping, and when it gets dead on, boom, you get that blue light, and you get confirmation that you are dead on your mark right there. How cool is that? so I'm gonna go ahead and mark these all the way around so that I can make sure I don't have any issues when it comes to this gazebo being level. You guys hang tight. I'll be back with you in just a little bit. Holla. That's the first one. Alright team, so now that I got my marks made up there, I'm going to go ahead and mark that for the notches, measure up 11 1/4 and get those things cut off at the top, and we're going to get these beams up. Alright, you guys hang tight. 2.5. Okay team, so it's time to put the beams up. I've got these set up. I got my crown right here, so we know that that's going up. Went ahead and put the screws in there so it'll make it a whole lot easier for me and Kelly once we lift it up there. I've cut the 2x12 at 9 foot 9 inches, so that way when we put across these posts right here, it should be the same at the top as it is at the bottom. Tell me when.
Yeah. Yep, you can screw it.
Yep. I'm gonna go over here and cut this 2x12 and we about to raise the roof. All right, here we go. What is up, team? Welcome back. It is the next day. Well, actually it's about 2 or 3 days later. We finished off on Friday, and this is about what we got done. So we are ready for the rafters. Now I went ahead and I cut my rafter, as you can see here. It's already ready to rock and roll. So that is going to be my pattern. I actually cut 2 of them, put it together with a ridge in the middle, and stuck it up there, and everything was beautiful. But I did want to go over how I came up with the measurement for this rafter. In the old times, what we would do is just get the measurement of our building and then go to the Swanson Blue Book and open it up, go in there and find out, like this, for example, 12 foot. We just go down 6 pitch, 12 foot, boom, there was your rafter length. But I use an app. The app tells you to go to when it says use the run, it wants you to go from the middle to the outside. So anyway, I'm going to show you both methods and what I came up with and how they ended up equaling each other in the end, and how that made me smile. So anyway, let's don't waste any time, jump into this rafter situation, and I'll show you what happened. Let's go. Alright, so I don't know how well this is going to look on camera, but I will let you look at it like this. So you can see that there's the app, and up here it tells you to put the roof pitch in, which is right there, wall plate width 6 foot. Now that means from the outside of the building to the outside of the building, cut in half, because they're going actually from the dead center of your peak to the outside wall. And then you have your wall plate width, which is 3.5. I put that down there, even though we just got beams up there. The way I framed house was always on a 3.5 inch wall plate. So I put that down there just to have something to put in. Wall plate height, I put 3 inches because that's just 2 2x4 stacked on top of each other, 1.5 inch, so that's 3 inches. And then the ridge depth, 5.5. That actually is talking about the width of your rafter here, 5.5 inches. Rafter thickness is 1.5 inches. Rafter bird's mouth seat cut, 3.5. I did, again, that's just because that's how wide a 2x4 is. Okay, and then the overhang, I put 12 inches, so that's going to be that they're hanging over 10.5, plus your cap will make it 12 inches. So with doing all that, with that all being said, I came up with this number. It said 76 9/16, and that's from the short point to where this seat cut starts for the bird's mouth, and then they added the extra 3 15/16. So what does that mean? That means that I can find this number out by adding this number to this number right here, and it actually came up to 80.5 inches. So what I had to do is just pull from this point right here all the way down to this right here, 80.5 inches. Now let's go to the Blue Book real quick and check our math and see what the Blue Book says compared to that. We have 80.5 according to this app here. I actually was going to stop by and buy a Blue Book, but I thought, hey, everything else is PDF online. Why can't the Blue Book be? And it was. So here we are. So I've already got it pulled up for you guys. You can see there's 12 feet right there. There's the 12 feet. So now what we're going to want to do is you come over here to your 6 pitch. And this is what it looks like inside the Blue Book too. And this is for a common rafter right here. So you follow that all the way over to 12 feet. We have 6 foot. 8.5. So those of you who guys know what 6 foot is, that's 72 inches. Plus you add your 8, that's 80 inches and a half. So the app is exactly correct with the Blue Book. If that sounds complicated to you guys, let me know, and we'll try to go to a more informative method of how to cut rafters. We'll pull out a framing square and everything, because some framing squares actually have all this written on the framing square too. Not mine, but anyway. All right guys, that's enough talking. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these rafters cut. We're gonna get them put up and then get this roof put on. It's time to raise the roof. Holla. Alright you guys, so I wanted to update you on what's going on here. I spent the morning laying out this ridge and making sure I cut rafters and everything. But I wanted to show you right here what it is I did to get this thing set up. So let's take a look here. The building is 10 foot 1/8 of an inch. We're going to call that 10 foot. So basically right here, what you have going on is, this is my ridge. This is where the gable is, that outside beam over there. So just like all the rest of them, it's at 10.5. And of course, all my blocks that I put through there are going to be 10.5. That way, when I cap it with the 1.5 inches, which is this piece right here, that'll be 12 inches. Now, with that being said, the ridge and the overhang are going to be a little bit different. And the reason is because the rafter is going to be coming down and catching this way. See, but the ridge is going to be capping it this way. So this is what it looks like. See what I'm saying? So we'll be nailing that to that. So therefore, that is why these need to be 3 inches longer, 1.5 inches on that end, 1.5 inches on that end. And that'll help us to have a nice little peak like that up there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rafters, my straightest ones for my overhang out in the front. And the only thing different about those is they're going to match these rafters exactly. They're just not going to have a bird's mouth in them. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish laying out this ridge right here. Both overhangs, cut my 2 overhang rafters for the front and the back. And we're going to get these things hung up. So you guys hang tight, and I'll check back in with you. Here we go. Real quick tip in case you guys didn't know on this, the way a speed square works. I'm going to slide this down so you can see right here. I'm going to mark this first mark right here, which is right there. But if I wanted to get a quick reference point at 1.5 inches, I can see this little arrow up here in the front? That's 1.5 inches. So all I really have to do is slide that over until it lines up with my line right there. And boom, you can see it lines up right there with that other 1.5 inches. Kellie's gonna have a good time when we go to putting that thing up. I can already tell. All right, you guys, check it out. I am standing on top of the gazebo and we are about ready to set these rafters. Now, generally in the past, it's been me and my boys. So there has been no arguing, no sniffling or anything like that going on. Today, I've got Kellie. And I don't know how she's going to react to this, but this is you're gonna have to use your biceps on both arms and then your calf muscles too on this, because it's gonna be strenuous. But the good news is, once we get this one, this one, and this one, and this one set, the rest of them are very, very easy. So what I've done temporarily is I've drove screws through the peaks of these. Now they don't go together right now. Actually a ridge will go in between them, but we got them leaning against each other for right now. That way we can go ahead and screw the outside edges to the band on all 4 sides, and then I can get on either this side or that side and Kellie can get on the other. Then we can remove our screw and take this ridge right here that's already laid out and raise it up right in between them. Now we'll have to hold one side with our shoulder while we screw the other side in, and then once that's in, we can go ahead and let go of that and kind of hold the whole thing up with our shoulder as we screw the other side in. Then once all 4 sides are in, we can just brace it off and we're good to go. So that is the plan. All right guys, hang tight. We're gonna see if we can get this thing knocked out. Alright, so what she's going to do is bring it over to our mark right there. And then if you screw it over and it gets to the line before it's screwed all the way down, that's why I put my screw on the other side. Now I'm going to go put a screw on the other side on mine and you put one on yours, and then we'll go to the other side of the house. The other side of the building, I mean. What's up, you guys? Welcome back. We're going to do a recap on where we are. So we got a lot done yesterday, and I'm going to walk through and show you some of what we got done. All right, took some finagling and some body stretching and everything, but we were able to get that ridge up and all these rafters up at the top up there. I do have one more gable rafter to put out here. It got a little bit late and I had to go to a class last night, so I had to get out of here. That's just going to go from there to there just to match the other one on the other side. Then I do have my overhang rafters already cut over here. We have our overhang for the side. So next step is to go ahead and get this gable rafter up here. I got another stiff leg to match like that one right there, because I did put that under there. Got to cut another one 34 inches to put over on this side. And then that thing should be ready for some metal roofing. Kellie's also got some fencing material that she's going to use as underpinning down underneath here. And that's something she's going to be working on too. So we'll try to get some video of that so you guys can see how she finishes that off. Other than that, guys, that's all we got to update you on. So we're going to jump over here and get busy. You guys take care, and I'll holler back at you in just a little bit. All right, you guys, that's the upright right there. I still want to put something in the front flat just so that it matches this up here, what's going on up there. I don't know if you can really see that in my camera, but it's kind of flat. So that's what I'm going to do to match out front. Next, I'm going to have to cut some 10.5-inch blocks because my overhang here is 10.5 inches on the side, and I want it to be 10.5 on the front. So that way when we cap it off on the front, cap it off on the side, we have a 12-inch overhang. That's the next step. So you guys hang tight. I'll holler back at you. Okay, guys, so now what I'm doing is installing the overhang. I cut 3 blocks for each side. I figured that's plenty enough. And so what I did was I went ahead and marked them out. I took the length of this, which was 90, and I split it in 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have a block down there, which will be your tail. You have this block, which is right here. And then these right here will just get screwed through the back, just like this right here. You'll put screws to the back right there. And once these are all on all the way down, then what'll happen is that gable part that we talked about, it'll come down right here, and then it'll here, and we'll just screw through here into the block that's right here. Same thing here, screw through here on those ones that don't have a bird's mouth on them, and that'll finish the overhang for this. That's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of these blocks, and we'll get installing those. You guys hang tight. I'll check back in with you. All right, you should be able to do one of yours. Alright, team, so it looks like we got all of our swing rafters, you know, our overhang and everything. The next step on the roof is just to get our runners nailed up there on the top going this way. That way we can attach our metal. Kellie's over here messing with the bottom of this, trying to get some kind of underpinning going here. And I'm going to let her rock that out while I jump back over here. And now what I'm going to be doing is go ahead and cutting these angle braces and installing those. I bought some more of those GRKs so they would match. And I think I'm just going to go to the side of the post here and then just go flush right up there, and that should support it pretty good. So I'm going to make them a little decorative too, so I just go ahead and cut them on a 45-degree angle and then put a little bit of a swoop in on the inside of it. But that's the plan, so I'm going to jump on that and I'll holler back at you guys. All right. Alright, you guys, so I got all of my angle braces cut and sanded down, rounded over, as you can see. And then on the end over here, I went ahead and rounded that over too, because that's going to be the part that's out here, on this edge. And so what I think I'm going to do is just use 3-inch screws to tack them in, do one at the bottom and maybe do one at the top. But the one I'm going to do at the bottom, I'm going to replace with these right here. It's just easier to drive one of these smaller 3-inch screws in there just to get it held in place, and then I can drill holes for these, because I'm just afraid that it's going to start splitting the wood. See how fat the shank is there. But anyway, I feel like if we drill holes in there and put them in there that way, then it should be pretty good for holding power, and also it'll match what I have on the band the rest of the way and what I have up there on this front side over here. All right, guys, so that's the next step. I'm gonna go ahead and get these things in. You guys hang tight. I'll check back with you. Holla. There you go, guys. That's the method I'm going to go with to get these things screwed in and anchored in. Check back in with you guys again. Holla! Alright team, so we have made quite a bit of progress today. It is 4:20 in the afternoon. We got out here somewhere around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I think it's more around 9 o'clock. Anyway, I'm going to turn this thing around and show you what we got done, and then show you what our next course of action is in this gazebo project. Boom! Bam! Alright, so we did get these, I don't know if you call them corbels or the 45 bracing angles. You guys saw me sanding on those and cutting on those. I think this turned out pretty good. That's that. We did get all the roof put in except for our runners. And Kellie's over here right now working on this underpinning, and I haven't checked in with her in a little while to see how that's going, but okay. Well, that's what she has so far, guys. Looking good. All right, so I guess my next course of action is to jump up there and on the top, and then that should be the last thing that has to happen on this gazebo, except for the actual roof that goes up on top. And I don't think we're gonna get to that today. We don't even have it here, so I think we're gonna purchase that this evening or first thing in tomorrow morning, and we'll climb up there and throw that thing on. It shouldn't take too long, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me so far. If you guys like what you're seeing, help us out by smashing that like button. That really will help us out. And if this is your third or second time back, fourth time, hey, apparently you like the channel, so I would go ahead and hit the subscribe button and become part of the DIY family. All right, guys, it's the end of the day, but we still got a little bit more to go, so I'll holler at you in a little bit.